boys and girls. I'm out on a busy street here on Lincoln Avenue in Chicago. No longer my haunting grounds, my stomping grounds, but coming here I found out that the poetry open mic that I took over, that was once run by Charlie Newman and originated from David Rubin, actually in December of 1996 at the Aloha Cafe, which was moved to the cafe that I ran for years at the cafe before moving it to the Cafe Gallery and calling the poetry open mic the Cafe Gallery. That when I came back here to visit, the cafe was closed down. And I don't know if the Aloha sign is a reflection of the Aloha Cafe or if it's an aloha, hello and goodbye for all of those who've been a part of this establishment. It breaks my heart to see it. It pulls on my heartstrings, and in honor of that, I wanted to read one poem for you guys in honor of the Tuesday night poetry readings that I would do there, that I would often start by reading material from Scars Publications poetry books. And I was going to read with you the last poem from the Down in the Dirt magazine, August 2021, volume 186 poetry and prose collection book. It is titled Three Things, which has Queen Anne's lace on it, which is all over the place in Chicago right now, even in September. But I thought I'd share with you the last poem in this book, and it's funny, it is a dreams poem. David Rubin, who started this open mic, often would read poetry that was based on dreams that he had, and I started doing this because of him, the man who started this open mic that ended up at this establishment. So, in honor of that, for you guys, I will share one poem, the absolute last poem in this Down in the Dirt issue collection book, titled Exactly Where She Belonged, Dreams, 2/29/20. Was I near the Antarctic Circle? Was I near Greenland? I don't know. I don't know who I was with, but while on a boat, separated from everyone, I fell over the edge and landed onto one of those rubber boat dinghies. I don't remember if it was actually an inflatable one or not. I couldn't say, but I couldn't even say what it was, but I remember thinking that this boat was just way too flimsy, but at this point it was all that I had. And then this mini boat quickly separated from the large boat that I was on, and I suddenly didn't see anyone or anything anywhere. Just chunks of ice floating in the ocean around me. I knew that I was wet from falling into this area and falling into this boat that I was able to climb into far too gracefully. And I knew there was ice everywhere that I went in this ocean. But I didn't feel that wet, and I didn't feel cold at all. I just knew I had to find civilization anywhere to help me get back to the world that I knew. Amongst the huge chunks of ice, almost stopping everything in this tiny little rubber boat from moving, I managed to navigate myself. I didn't have any oars, and I don't remember if I used my hands, to what looked like a massive block of floating ice that I couldn't see any land anywhere, and it seemed like it was a harbor, almost a pavilion in the middle of nothingness. I apparently left my boat and went into what looked like a huge room, like a warehouse room, but not really. It was like out there on top of this big chunk of ice in the middle of the ocean. But people were milling around there like it was some giant bar of some sort, or like they were all getting together at some convention center. I looked around until I saw a woman who reminded me of a high school acquaintance, a woman I did work with back in the day, and I was friendly with then. So maybe I felt more comfortable actually talking to her. She seemed totally relaxed there, like this warehouse room on this ice harbor was exactly where she belonged. And I kept saying that I had fallen off of my boat and I needed to get a hold of the people on that boat so they might be able to find me. And this is when I pulled out my cell phone. This is when I pulled out my cell phone out of my pocket. Don't ask me why it was still working and why it wasn't waterlogged or frozen. But I was sitting there looking at it, thinking of texting someone out there. And that's when I realized, wait a minute, we don't get reception there. They're not going to be able to get a text from me. But I had to do something, I thought. And so I thought maybe I could send out a bulk email to everyone I knew who was on the boat. And maybe somehow soon one of them might be able to access email and be able to see my message. I didn't even know the contact information to email the people who ran this boat that we were even on in the first place. So then I just tried to think of their names of these people that I was with, and then I tried to remember their email addresses. But then my hands were so cold that I was unable to dial anything, and I was too scared, and I couldn't even type a thing. These are the crazy dreams a person can have. What? Anywho, in honor of David Rubin and the dreams poems that he would do, that is the last poem that is in this book, Down in the Dirt, volume 186, August 2021, titled 3 Things. And by the way, I just learned that if you have really, really tall pieces of what looks like Queen Anne's lace, but they have purple spots on the sides, that could be hemlock. What? So I can't even freely just grab any Queen Anne's lace? It might be hemlock. You've got to be kidding me. What? That's what I get for reading too much news stuff, right? Anywho, I hope everyone is remaining safe. I hope everyone is remaining productively inclined. And there goes another boat or airplane flying overhead because we're just so close to O'Hare, which is double plus awesome. Everyone raise a glass for this fine establishment that ran that is now closed, which breaks my heart. I hope everyone stays strong, stays politically inclined, and know that you're loved. And I will be talking to each and one of you very, very soon. Thank you all so very much. Thank you.